All right, people, we got Fed Day today. Fed Day. They're going to taper. They're going to taper. I don't pay any attention to these things because long term they are meaningless. As I said yesterday, these monetary policy adjustments, particularly, recent times, and go back, 10 years, even longer. These are incremental adjustments, and the only thing that monetary policy does is either change price levels by virtue of the interest rate, okay? The cost of credit is reflected in the cost of all goods and services. The Fed is not going to be raising interest rates. It's not going to be lowering interest rates, so there's going to be no impact from that. Second of all, insofar as taper is concerned, that's just kind of a rejiggering, a small rejiggering of basically a fiscal operation. When the Fed buys assets, it strips out not just the collateral that it buys, those high quality liquid assets like treasuries, it takes away the interest income for itself, leaves that interest income out of the economy or removes that from the economy. So that's not stimulus. Everybody thinks that's stimulus. It's not. So when the Fed does taper now, it's going to cut back on those asset purchases, which functionally is the same thing as the government adding more of those securities into the economy. Those are cash equivalents, but they are cash equivalents that earn interest. So it is a small net fiscal expansion, all else equal. Not going to make a big difference right now because the amount that they taper is going to be pretty small. But you know how the zombies are going to react. They're taking away the punch bowl. They're taking away the punch bowl. They're going to stop inflation. They're going to squash inflation. Inflation is already starting to come down. By the way, we saw last night in the API oil inventory report 3.6 million build in crude. That was the fifth build in crude inventories over the last 6 weeks. And in a little while, we'll get the EIA report, and we'll probably see a build in there as well. So crude oil inventories have been building up. I think they're at the highest level in about 2-3 months. Product inventories are still tight. I mean, I will admit that. Product inventories, gasoline, distillate is still tight. Oil exports, crude oil exports are still near pandemic lows. Product exports look like they might be starting to turn back up. So it's a little bit of a mixed picture. We had a pullback last week also in gasoline demand, distillate demand, and jet fuel demand. Refiner inputs basically like unchanged. So, kind of like a static situation. I would say a little bit more to the negative side because of the crude build that's been going on now for 6 weeks. We're 5 out of the last 6 weeks. And we're seeing a little bit of hesitation up here in any further price gains in oil. And by the way, as I told all of you, oil producers are now net short crude futures, WTI futures, for the first time in 10 weeks. And when they got net long 10 weeks ago, that's when the market shot up to 85 bucks. Now they're short for the first time in 10 weeks. So I'm selling. I'm a seller here, folks. If oil comes down, watch too for the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen has been really, really weak. It's almost like crazy oversold, if you want to use a technical term. Like I went back like I don't know, 7 or 8 years, maybe longer. I haven't seen it this oversold on a long-term basis in a long time, the yen. So the yen's going to pop higher. And the Canadian dollar, which has been really strong based on rising oil prices, you know what's going to happen there. It's going to give back some of those gains. Anyway, that's a brief morning update. Maybe I'll do more of these things. I don't know. If you like them, feel free to leave your comments. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to leave your nasty criticisms because you're miserable. You don't know what else to do but to be critical and, knock down everything I say because you're so wonderful and you're so smart. So you come here and you leave stupid fucking idiotic comments. That's fine. If that's what floats your boat, man. But I can only take it to a certain level. Then I'm going to lash out. I mean, that's just me. That's just me. I can't help it. Anyway, check it out. Stay strong, everybody. Stay strong. I'll see you later. When the Fed, they're going to taper. They're going to taper. Print money.